now know why Glenn is sick. And we want to thank those who have helped us figure it out. Infowars. That's where you go for all your truth and light. We'll get into that coming up.
It's the Glenn Beck Program.
Normally from high above Times Square, but today from our affiliate in Salt Lake City, Utah, from within the shadow of the everlasting hills. We're at KNRS today. This is the third most listened to show in all of America. Pat Gray and Stu Bergier for Glenn, who is here because he's, of course, being tested for, as you know, Rumsfeld plague. and all we can do is pray at this point. When you've been infected with Rumsfeld plague, I don't know that there's any chance of survival.
No, I would say no. Obviously, Donald Rumsfeld began targeting Glenn.
He knows
Beck.
how to kill.
Yeah. I mean, he's run wars, Pat. And he started targeting him apparently in the 80s.
I think 1981, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Well, according to this conspiracy website, and it is a conspiracy. I mean, everything on it is like total conspiracy.
Yeah.
And anybody who doesn't believe in this conspiracy is part of it.
Of course.
So if you don't believe, for instance, that Rumsfeld and Cheney and Bush brought down the Twin Towers, you're part of the cover-up. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Because the evidence is conclusive. We all know steel doesn't melt. Nobody knows how it's manufactured, apparently, because it doesn't melt.
No.
You know, you can't.
No, definitely not.
Steel just is, right? It's not molten.
You farm for it. You farm for steel.
You farm for steel. Thank you. And so when you dig it up and you find this hardened thing that you can build buildings with, it can't melt. It can't weaken, apparently.
No.
And so even though, you know, some discredited people like, for instance, Popular Mechanics have totally debunked this thing years and years ago with all the scientific evidence. Well, they're part of the CIA. They're part of the CIA.
James Meggs is a CIA agent, the guy who is the editor of Popular Mechanics. We've had on the show many times to disprove ridiculous conspiracy theories. You know, and he's obviously in on it, just like everybody, just like we are right now, Pat.
We are right now. The fact that we're talking about it will probably pop up on this website.
Probably will.
They continue to be part of the problem. The conspiracy, the deception continues.
It's so awesome.
So listen to this. Here's one of the paragraphs from this insightful article on this website. Glenn Beck may not know it. Well, of course he does now because they've released that, and that's why we're in Salt Lake to be tested for it. But Glenn Beck may not know it, but it is almost just certain.
Almost certain
he is another victim of Rumsfeld plague. And if I've seen one, I've seen, well, one. On September 29th, the New York Times published a long article about Beck. His Mormonism forbids coffee, but he consumes a lot of Diet Coke and chocolate, writes Mark Leibovich.
No.
Well, okay, so there's the key, right?
Yeah, you might want to.
That's the key.
The beginning of understanding whether this is true or not might start with that. That the evidence is one sentence in a New York Times article, not saying how much he drinks, not saying just that he consumes a lot of, which is it's not really that much of, at least not compared to me. I mean, he has a couple Diet Cokes a day, you know, usually not even. It's usually Coke Zero, but the evil aspartame, by the way, is the villain here in this story.
Well, yes, it's the sugar substitute aspartame, which they started putting into Diet Coke apparently in 1982, right?
Yeah.
And that and we can trace that back apparently to, yes, the evil Donald Rumsfeld, who is head of G.D. Searle Pharmaceuticals.
Uh-oh. That sounds evil.
He decided to market a poison to the nation. So here's a good safety tip for Donald Rumsfeld. It's never a good idea to kill your clients.
No.
Okay? Your customers, you want them alive to consume the product you're putting out.
And
it doesn't make a lot of sense to poison the people who are buying your stuff, because then they'll be dead and they won't buy your stuff anymore.
Yeah, and he's done a terrible job trying to poison people, as hundreds of millions of people consume this every day. And the reason it's a news story that Glenn is having certain symptoms is because not that many people have them. It's because it's the reason the doctors can't immediately identify it is because they've never seen it before. It's one of those things where they're going in and they're trying to figure it out because it's not every third person walking in and saying they have Diet Coke disease. But I guess this is what happens when you go to 9/11 conspiracy theorists for your health information.
My wife is a big believer right now. She is on a huge natural/organic kick, and it is ruining my life.
Yep.
I mean, we were here, and she was with us for the weekend, and so we were in the store picking up a few things, and I wanted to get some gum, and I throw it down on the counter, to buy it. She picks it up and immediately goes to the back. Right there, saccharin. Puts it back in the rack.
Saccharin's awesome.
So? I've had intravenous feedings of saccharin before. I'm on a saccharin drip. I don't care. Put it back.
No, look at this. Look at this, honey. Saccharin and blue number 5 plus yellow number 4. And?
Oh, my.
So? I've had souffles of blue and yellow number 5 and 4. I don't care. So I know people get on those kicks.
Yeah, you're remarkably well adjusted for this. I did not know that your home life was this way.
Yeah, she's wrecked my life with it. She really has. I can't even buy gum anymore. We got to go to Whole Foods for natural gum.
And I
didn't even know there was natural gum. We've got natural toothpaste now. She's, I mentioned on Friday, or Glenn did mention the conversation, I think, that she found out that apparently there's some evidence that Alzheimer's involves aluminum. People with Alzheimer's disease have a high aluminum content.
You know where that comes from?
Uh-oh.
Well, no. Where?
Deodorant.
Oh, God.
What? I can't use deodorant anymore?
No, please.
Are you serious?
I demand you continue to use deodorant, Pat.
I know. So now we're shopping for
natural deodorant without aluminum.
Yeah, I
know,
but there's no benefit from soda. Soda's not a beneficial nutritional beverage. It's just really good. But I mean,
good.
I'll be honest about it. If you want to have an idiotic conspiracy about where the president was born, or where there's ridiculous fake prison camps, or about a talking owl that tells all the presidents what to do whatever you want. But leave my diet soda alone.
I know.
It is a gift directly from God. I accept it in that way. I believe we're still in the Bible. We're still in the Bible here. We're still in the Bible here, to quote Jeremiah Wright. I believe it is proof of intelligent design.
Now, what part of the Bible are you in? Just so I can.
We're in the good and plenty.
So I can read up.
Good and plenty clause.
Good and plenty clause.
It's in the back end of Leviticus somewhere. Find that. But I mean, it's one of those things. It's like they come out with. There is so much scientific evidence that says this aspartame stuff is nonsense. It goes from every huge scientific group, and I mean, it's not. Consensus does not mean anything. People get things wrong all the time. I understand that. But you've got the FDA. Here we go. Here's a bunch of them. FDA. FDA has not determined any consistent pattern of symptoms that can be attributed to use of aspartame. Here's the Lancet. One research revealed of over 6,000 websites that mention aspartame. Virtually all of the information offered is anecdotal from anonymous sources and is scientifically implausible. FDA again. Wow. Analysis of the National Cancer Institute's public database on cancer incidence in the United States, the SEER program, does not support an association between the use of aspartame and increased incidence in brain tumors. MIT, even large doses of the high-intensity sweetener aspartame, also known as NutraSweet, has no adverse effect on study subjects' health and well-being. How about this one? This is one of my favorite ones from the Lancet. Because opponents of aspartame, people that attack it all the time, say that it creates methanol in the body, and I don't even want to phenylalanine. I'm going to go with phenylalanine. You know how you look at the can all the time? It always says phenyl. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but you know what I'm talking about. It says it on every label that has, you drink regular soda, but every label that has diet soda always says that. Now, they say that a can of diet soda will yield about 20 milligrams of methanol. They admit that. This is where this comes from, Pat, and we're all going to die because of it. The only problem is an equivalent volume of fruit juice produces twice as much, and an alcoholic beverage from 3 to 5 times as much. The other chemical they're talking about is one can of a diet soft drink will give you about 100 milligrams of it. 300 milligrams you will get from an egg. You will get 500 milligrams from a glass of milk. That's 5 times as much, and 9 times as much from a large hamburger. So, I mean, this stuff. You just have to just ignore all the evidence and assign every single symptom from everything you don't understand to diet soda.
Rumsfeld plague.
Rumsfeld plague.
Rumsfeld plague. I love the name of it too because it's so sinister and it's so evil Bush administration and his cronies. What is the problem is with all of these carcinogens, all of these cancer-causing agents is in high doses, you can die from almost anything up to and including water.
Yes.
We have seen that in the past where a woman drank so much water during a radio contest, she drowned and died. Her body literally drowned from water. I mean, so if you do things in ridiculous extremes, bad things will happen.
Yeah.
You do things in moderation, you're probably going to be okay.
Yeah, and I will say that, because I don't drink soda in moderation, Pat. I drink it in high excess.
You're going to die.
So when you hear you hear people on the radio saying, "Oh, well, they don't even believe that," they're just saying that. I am betting my life that I am right on this. I have bet my entire life on the fact that I am right about aspartame and NutraSweet and Splenda and all the other fancy things that are a miracle ingredient that have saved
Splenda,
me.
Man.
I mean, I love that.
Splenda
it's a miracle.
I love it too, but that stuff, I gotta say, there might be might be an issue.
There is no issue with Splenda. It's a literal miracle ingredient that has saved millions of lives. I will testify to it. Think about this though. They always talk about if you have it in ultra extreme doses, you might have a slight increase in X symptom or disease or whatever. But I mean, when you're having something that we know what I would be doing if I wasn't drinking diet soda, drinking regular soda. And what would happen? I'd probably have diabetes and I'd weigh 1,500 pounds more than I already do, which is already not impressive. And it's like you go through this. This is American Council on Science and Health. In fact, aspartame, known as NutraSweet and Equal, is safe. Aspartame is one of the most thoroughly tested substances in the U.S. food supply. Numerous authorities, including the Food and Drug Administration, the Joint Expert Committee on Food Additives of the FAO, WHO, the European Community, and the American Medical Association have concluded that aspartame is a safe product, except for with people who already have a rare genetic condition. So maybe Glenn has that rare genetic condition that he would have to have from birth to be affected by this. But I'm going to go ahead and say that steel does melt.
Let me ask you a question. How much did Donald Rumsfeld pay you to say all of that? How much? How much?
Information.
Ray Stuber here for Glenn, who is being checked for Rumsfeld plague today. We just found out. Thank you for the breaking news. From the conspiracy website, who has narrowed this down to it's almost certainly Rumsfeld plague disease.
There are some other possibilities, Pat. We are investigating right now whether he has been poisoned by fruit roll-ups. Looking into candy corn ailment. You're going to find everything that you've ever ingested is going to kill you. And, first of all, eventually they'll be right because everyone is going to die. But if they were actually correct on this diet soda thing, I am going to die 10 years ago because I drink more diet soda than anyone on the planet. I have an entire I went to IKEA, Pat, and I bought this little thin shelf, and there's a little outcut in my basement, and I put the shelf in there, and I have filled it with fridge packs for every diet soda that you can imagine. My basement is a diet soda museum. You can see all the sites.
Wow.
It's like a tour of every delicious calorie-free beverage that has ever been created. And you can go down there and do you want a Fresca? Yes.
Yeah,
do you want a Fresca with the peach
Tab?
in it? Yes, you can have that. The Tab, Tab, I don't know. I don't have Tab down there. But I've got everything
If you have Tab, I've lost all respect for you. If you have even one Tab, then I have no respect.
I understand that.
None.
But when we're talking Diet Mountain Dew Code Red, we've got Diet Birch Beer down there. We've got the Diet Coke with lime, Diet Coke with Splenda, Coke Zero, Diet Pepsi, Diet Vanilla Pepsi, Coke Vanilla Zero, all plentiful and there for my unbelievable enjoyment every single day when I go home. Wow. I will be honest with you. If this thing causes Rumsfeld's plague, I'm going to I already have it clearly, and B, I'm going to thank Don for it because it sounds fantastic.